We're back. Happy New Year. Hi, Tony. Hey, guys. Happy New Year, everybody. It's so good to see you. We took a few weeks off for the holidays, but I'm very excited about our guest this evening. She's a wonderful singer and just woman of God and songwriter. Hi, Jalinda. Hey, yeah. How you doing, girl? Stop it. Stop right there. I'm excited to talk about Wendi Wyatt. I think that she's someone who has just had a career, a wonderful career, and just walk with the Lord. And I feel like she's just one of those people that just seems to really walk in peace and just really has allowed the Lord to just kind of make a space for her. And I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think it's good for us as singers and music professionals and as creatives to know different sides of the life of a creative and all of the different ways in which they move. Give me 1 second. All the different ebbs and flows of their life and how things really intertwine. Sorry, I just got a note that I wanted to ask tonight. Hi, Tori. How are you? Hey, guys. We're just waiting on Miss Wyatt now. Dun, 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 da 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 da. Oh, so while we're waiting, I should tell you guys that I am about to be coming out with more music videos. So look out for that. Thank you guys so much for your support on Hola, New Creature. Thank you guys so much for your support on Dileesa's Vocal Academy, Vocal Prep. 10, good Lord, Vocal Prep 101. Yeah, I'm really excited about the new music, Jalinda. It's gonna be great. I'm really excited about it. Hold on 1 second. While we're waiting, mientras, oh, she's there. She's here. Hey, Wendy's on here now, but I was gonna say hi. Why did she leave? Gee, she didn't let me finish. She didn't let me finish with my sentence. My friends are so ridiculous. Hello, beautiful.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Happy New Year.
Good. Happy New Year to you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well.
Oh, thanks so much. I'm so happy to have you here. People adore you. And
Oh,
yeah, they do. It's like as soon as I put your picture up, everyone's like, oh.
that's so sweet.
Yes. So I really wanted to speak with you because I think I guess when I look at, for lack of a better word, your portfolio, right? Just kind of the different facets of your life. I feel like God has given you what the Bible calls good success, right? When it's well-rounded and it works in concert with your calling and it all just is strategically intertwined, right? The singing, the pastoring, the writing, the children, your amazing marriage, all of it just works together for the glory of God. And so I am so excited to speak with you. I think you're a well of wisdom. And so I just kind of wanted to pick your brain a little bit tonight.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with the newest thing. So you just released a single January 1st.
I
With
did.
your husband.
Yes,
Look at you light up.
I did.
That is so cute. Oh my gosh. So your husband sings. Now, I was listening to another interview and you were saying that you and your husband are from Rochester. Did you grow up together?
Well, not exactly, but we came to know one another through church. Our
Okay.
churches would, get together from time to time. And believe it or not, both of our parents, his mother and my parents, grew up together in Florida.
In Florida.
In
That's what I'm
Florida.
from.
They relocated, all relocated to Rochester, unbeknownst one to another. And when our churches got together, fellowship, for a time of fellowship, they're like, hey, my dad was like, isn't that Virginia?
Not
He,
even
my mom.
Florida.
And so they would talk whenever we would see one another. They would talk, and then that would give their son and I an opportunity to look at each other across the church while they were talking. Because I thought he was cute.
He is.
I thought he was cute. So, if their church was coming, if it was in the middle of the week, I had on my Easter cute outfit.
You were ready. Like, no,
Cute,
I
'cause
didn't have nothing else to do. Let's go.
right.
I love it. So the song is Look at Our Love. Have you been married 30 years?
Yes,
30 years.
December
So,
December 8th.
oh, congratulations on that. And I
Thank
think
you very much.
what is really beautiful about it is some people, you go, oh, wow, you've been married 30 years. And they're like, yeah.
Right.
And then you're like, yes, oh my God, my husband. So what advice do you have for people? And by the way, you're single. For those of you who want to download it, listen, it is beautiful. And it's called Look at Our Love. Did you write it?
I did.
It's
I,
so beautiful.
Thank you so much. I wrote it for our 25th celebration, our 25th anniversary. We had a big party, big, vow renewal celebration. And so for the reception portion of that, I wrote that, and our family did it then. And so for our 30th, I said, this is still a significant marker, and we couldn't do some of the stuff that my husband wanted to do to celebrate. But I said, you know what? I want to record that and release it. And so we did it.
So I have a question. What was the inherent risk in marrying your husband? And when I say that, I mean, some people, when they get married, it's like there really isn't a reward on the other side of that risk, if that makes sense. Like it's just a red flag. It's just abandoned mission, go.
Right.
And then there's the other ones where you're like, I really think I know this person's character. So what was it that made you say, like, I think I know enough about this person that we can actually because I see some really beautiful marriages, and it's like, what is that knowing? What is that?
Well, I don't know. I think at a certain point, I knew I didn't want to, I knew I couldn't imagine my life without him.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I couldn't imagine doing life without him. After, I guess we were a couple years into dating, and I was pretty sure. Yeah, when you think about, I'm a romantic, and you start imagining life and, what you want to do and doing this and that, kind of going down the list of things. And I knew, yeah, that's who I want to do that with. I don't see anybody else. I can't imagine it being with anybody else. And I knew he loved God, and and you know, and he was in my corner. You know, he supported me, and
He had
stuff.
proven that.
Hmm.
That's so
So,
beautiful.
so
That's so beautiful.
we went for it.
I love it. How, what can I ask this question? What has marriage taught you? What did you think you already knew that what did you learn that you didn't know you needed to learn in marriage?
um, well, you know, first of all, I was so young. We were so young. We were kids. I was 21.
Wow.
You know, I was 21 and he was 23. I was such a girl. You know, so green, so naive.
Oh.
And I think, you know, because he was, um, in some ways, spiritually, I was a later bloomer than he.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was, you know, I was saved. I love the Lord, you know, um, and I was doing, I was, you know, I was living the life, um, but I had not um, begun to really show. There wasn't a whole lot of indication, I don't think, of who I am today in
Mm-hmm.
certain ways,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the ministry and the whole nine. Um, but I think, and so that was intimidating sometimes, and because there was, you know, there were a group, you know, there was a group of people who thought that I wasn't good enough for him, you know.
Oh,
Because he was, you know, he was deep, you know, at
yeah, yeah.
23, you know,
Oh.
and they weren't seeing that same kind of same, you know, kind of deep. For
Mm-hmm,
me,
mm-hmm.
they didn't know, so but what I have come to understand is that that God does not, what I did learn is that he did not randomly just select a nice girl for my husband, um, and then kind of as an afterthought give her something to complement his ministry.
Mm.
And this is something that I teach pastors and, you know, first ladies, as well. But in fact, as it turns out, he gave me to him because of what he had already put in me.
Amen.
Um, and so he knew what we had not discovered yet about what I was carrying. The Lord knew, um, what he had deposited in me, and that in fact my husband would need that. Um, this is what I have learned, about me, and it helped me to settle into who God has called me to be, settle into, you know, um, who I am, unapologetically, and but it is something that that I've taught women for several years now. Um, um, that it is the wisdom of God, um, to
Beautiful.
bring us together according to his purpose.
That's,
So
okay, so I have that was actually going to be my next question was co-pastoring.
yeah.
Is there like a specific area of ministry? But then you said like you're usually called to first ladies and women and helping them understand that there is do you feel like that's your ministry? Like I tend to feel like I have a special connection with young ladies, and I feel like there's something in me that inspires something in them that they'll
Mhm.
just never forget, you know. So do you feel like that's really like your area of ministry?
um, that is one strong area. I do
Mm-hmm.
minister to the whole body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, of course, those who serve in music ministry, that's a passion, of mine. But ministry to women is definitely, a passion as well. It's just it's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so um, I find myself, you know, I I light up.
Yeah.
You know, I light up. Probably, I probably light up in ministering to women, in the same way, um, as I do ministering to those who serve in music ministry.
I love it.
But the Lord seems to have spoken to me quite a bit for the whole body. So I'm not bothered at all. I'm very comfortable speaking to, the body as a whole, men and women, and speaking into the lives of men, young men. I'm very comfortable there as well.
Of course. So thank you so much for allowing me to take you through that. Let's move on to
It's
your
okay.
music, your ridiculous voice.
Okay.
So what are some of your, you have such a beautiful voice. When I hear you, you just sound like a Tweety bird or something. It's so pretty.
Thank you so much. That reminds me of Blair. Blair Monique. Are you familiar with her?
I do know Blair Monique. I do know that name. That name is like...
She always jokes about that. She's like a daughter to me. But she always jokes about that. It's like, she's a bird. She sounds like a bird.
You do. That's what I think of. It's like your voice is just fluttering. It's so pretty.
Oh, thank you so much.
So who are your inspirations? Because I feel like you are kind of contemporaries with a lot of my generation's inspirations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you that as a girl, growing up, I was going to be Tremaine Hawkins. Let's be very clear about let's be very clear about that. Yeah, I wanted to be Tremaine. I mean, she was everything. Yeah. Her voice is still the standard, Tremaine Hawkins. And so that's my first inspiration. And then I found myself very inspired vocally and as a writer, interestingly enough, as well, by Sandy Patty and what's my girl? Amy Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, interestingly enough. So, in later years, Kim Burrell gave me so much inspiration, Kirk Franklin as a writer gave me so much inspiration along the way, even though I had started writing as a girl. I started writing at 10 years old. And I wrote, I've been writing ever since. Used to write for school choirs and, and all that kind of stuff.
Such a beautiful gift.
Oh, thank you so much.
Such a beautiful gift. Do you remember your first song?
I do.
Are you serious? Did you ever record it?
From
Just
when
to
I was,
have it?
From when I was 10?
Yes.
Yes, I remember it. It's a hit, whatever.
Can we hear it?
It's just a little bit of his don't laugh. When the springtime comes, the flowers bloom, the trees grow, and me and you, we're gonna have some fun. Da, 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 da. I can't wait till the springtime comes. Springtime comes, we're gonna have some fun. Da, da, da. I can't wait till the springtime comes. Yeah, all of that.
That was actually really good. 10-year-old Wendi wrote that. That was actually really good. Like, that belongs on like a sitcom opening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not even mad at that at all. My songs are like, yeah, that was a bop. Someone said that was a bop. That was actually. Okay.
Right. Da, da, da. I can't wait to that. Yeah, it was very 70s. It was very 70s.
Yeah, that sounded like a Sanford and Son opener or something. That was dope. Wow. Have you ever done commercial or jingles and something? Or
Not yet. It is something that I still look forward to doing. And I have get you some friends that remember your dreams. Woo! if I can give you a piece of advice right real quick, that just came up in my, get you some friends that remember your dreams. I have a girlfriend. I have some really sweet, sweet girlfriends. I have the best girlfriends. And one of my girlfriends from back home, every now and then, she'll remind me, she said, I'm still waiting, Win. I'm still waiting. I know. And she's one of the few, I guess she was one of the few that I talked about it way back in the day. Um, and so she still reminds me from time to time about jingles, doing
You
commercials.
need to do it. I mean, I can put you in touch with somebody that I know out in LA, and that this is what he does, like from his house, you know. He
Awesome.
does. Yeah, I can totally put you in touch with him. You're
I,
so good.
I love it. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I'm not like that great of a writer, so I mean, whatever. So I'm okay. When I write, I literally have to put my face down to the Lord and be like, Lord, if it be your will, please give me some words. You know, like it's not a gift
I
necessarily. It's just
know.
me begging God to give me something.
Right. I know it's a gift from God. I know it's
Yeah.
a gift. Yeah, you know, my son and I have talked about it. As I see the same traits in him. Somebody asked him to write a kind of a jingle, kind of a theme song for an event, or it was something, and it was a commercial type thing. And when I listened to it, I said, "That's good, boy." I said, "Yeah." I said, you know, by the grace of God, we can write anything.
Listen, so David Michael Wyatt said you should pitch this to Baby First TV right now. Like that is, you know, Baby First, that channel.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I mean, the world is so small now with the internet and Instagram and all of that. Oh, I'm gonna pray for you because, geez, Louise, that was so good. That was commercial music.
Thank you so
That
much.
was, yes. Okay, so yeah, somebody. Wendi Wyatt needs a connect for these jingles. I'm gonna do what I can, but if anybody else knows any people that are into commercial music and jingles and stuff like that, please, please, please contact her. So, Oh Jesus, 2020, your song. Now, when you wrote that, did you write that for?
I didn't write that one.
Oh, okay,
I'm one of the writers on it, but that didn't start with me.
okay. Because I was gonna say it sounds like a praise team song. You know how sometimes songwriters they like write for their home church and then they go, let's record it. Like I was gonna ask if that was one of those
Oh,
songs.
I've got plenty of those too.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So
I've
your
got
church is one of
those.
those.
But that one is by Paris Bowens.
Okay,
He brought that one to us.
beautiful.
And so I added, you know, I did some writing on it. Dana, my producer, added to it, and so we all put our heads together, and it is what it is. But the original baby of it is Paris Bowens. He's such a gift.
Yeah, that's so somebody said that you used to come to their church in California.
In
With
Tulare, yes, I remember that. We used to have some amazing times. Yeah, yes. Still
okay, so
been
what's
going to California for a lot of years,
really
since the late 90s.
so you're like a traveling minister as well. You're like an evangelist, or is it working with choirs?
Evangelistic as well. You know, psalmist, guest psalmist ministry,
Do you preach?
working. Mhm.
You must be the most relaxing preacher
I
ever.
don't. Sometimes I get.
Your voice is so just soothing.
Sometimes I get turned up. I think when I get wound up, I think I'm a little. I think it shocks people because they are used to this.
Yeah,
Because I am soft spoken. But when I get wound up, I do raise my voice a little bit.
I can't even imagine it. Like this is
There's
just.
a clip on IG right now from last week or someplace.
Oh, I
Last
got
week,
to see it.
you got to go see it.
What are some of your, so we know that you want to do jingles, and I am sincerely praying that that door opens for you. What are some other like dream collaborations or projects and that you would, like to work on or with?
Voiceovers for animated film.
Me too.
Yep.
I've always wanted to be Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
Yep.
It would be so good.
Yep.
Oh, I love it. Yes. Okay. 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 I guess there was another worship song and I didn't write it down because I was just like listening to your stuff, but I think it was recent. It was a radio single. Was it as I can't remember and it's not coming.
Let God Arise?
Arise. I knew there was an A and an S and I was trying to put it together. Let God Arise. Did you write that?
I did.
That was absolutely beautiful as well.
Thank you so much.
You're a prolific songwriter. Oh my God. It's such a gift. It's like a gift within a gift because your voice is so gorgeous.
Oh my God. To God
Yeah.
be the
And so we can't not talk about JJ Hairston.
Okay.
Yeah. So that song, I Have No Reason to Fear.
Right.
What is the when, how, what, like how did that song,
That's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah.
2013, 2013, I was teaching a praise and worship seminar. It was the Kingdom of the Arts conference, music and arts conference at my bishop's church in Marion, South Carolina. And I was the instructor, the teacher for the worship class, the praise and worship class.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a rare occasion. It was a rare occasion that I was going to have a class for 3 days. I was going to be able, for those who were able to come every day, I was able to see them 3 days in a row on that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So that was special. I love times like that when you can just kind of, build upon each day and you don't have to feel pressure to get everything in one day.
Mm-hmm.
In a 2-hour setting or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to build, and I was just so grateful. I just felt so privileged to have that time with them. And so Saturday morning, I'm in the hotel, and I thought, okay, this has been such a special time. And I asked the Lord, what do I leave them with? What do I send them away with
Mm-hmm.
after having been with them these 3 days? What do I send them away with? And he began to sing that song to me.
Mm.
I have no reason to fear. And the whole thing, hey, just the whole vibe of it, the sound of war, the sound of triumph. And he said to me, tell them that this is what the church ought to sound like in this era.
Wow. I love it. I love it.
And so not necessarily about, didn't have to be, same style, or, it wasn't about that. It's the sound behind the sound, a sound of conviction.
Mm-hmm.
People who know in whom they believe, and who
Disciples.
who know that because Jesus is Lord, because he's alive and because he reigns, we have no reason to fear what the enemy will, in, the ways that he would try to attack. We have no reason to fear the enemy, or anything for that matter. The Lord is our light. And so I took it to class that day. I went and
My friend, he's so stupid.
so I went to the class that morning, and before we closed, that's the last thing I gave them. I went to Revelation and just took a look at what Jesus looked like coming back, triumphant, and just said, this is what the church ought to sound like. And that class on that Saturday morning in 2013, March of 2013, they danced out of the class that day singing that song. Hey! Just dancing and singing. And so finally, in 2015, we recorded it. released it in 2016, and then JJ picked it up, heard it, and picked it up in 2017, and released his and put his twist on it, put their spin on it, and released it. So and to God be the glory. He helped take it around the world, and of course, people still, as a result, people also found the original version and seemed to love both, and so I'm very grateful for that as well.
You're so sweet. I can't take it. So my friend Will wants to know if you're going to be his auntie. Let's see. You do have some. By the way, Will is a singer. You guys,
Okay.
yeah, follow. He's amazing.
Okay.
Let's see. Somebody said you sing in tongues. What is your writing process? Does it come over time or is it quick?
Sometimes it's oftentimes it's the sound, just the sound of it, or a feel, like a triumphant sound or a sound of worship.
Are you dope enough that you can just wake up one day and say, today I just want to write a song about trees. Like, it's just kind of my thing. I'm just going to exercise. Like, are you that dope that you'll just actually write a song about trees if you tell yourself that's what you're going to write about?
I don't do that, but what I know of the gift that God has given me, I probably could do it. Um, um, but I pretty much, I don't set out unless I'm asked, to do it, or if there's an occasion or something. But other than that, I don't set out to just kind of randomly write. But the Lord He just drops things on me, melodies, and then because I'm very sensitive to sound, and so when He gives me a melody, um, I immediately, by God's grace, I know what kind of words, what language belongs with this melody. You know what I mean? What theme belongs with this melody? Um, um, based on this sound, what is it that we should be talking about?
Wow.
Kind of thing. I'm very protective of sounds of war and warfare, and um, tribal sounds. I'm very protective of those. I don't, I think that I believe, I'm convicted by it, that um, triumphant sounds, tribal sounds, um, they belong underneath the entrance of the king. Everybody knows that in societies where a king, where kings are seated, that there is a sound that accompanies the entrance of a king.
Wow.
Sometimes it's just, all the way back to medieval times, you know, sometimes it's just the trumpet, so, but there's always a sound that accompanies the entrance of a king. And in the spirit, that so it is. That was not man's idea. That was a God idea, that there would be a sound that accompanies the entrance of a king. It's because in the spirit, there is a sound that accompanies the entrance of our king. And so I don't like for people to use those sounds and put other language with it, stuff that talks about me or getting my stuff, or or coming up the rough side of the mountain, and anything else, that kind of sound. If when I hear that sound, I expect that they're about to start singing about how great our God is.
So how okay. So, let me ask you this. Contemporary gospel
Uh-huh.
that gets so contemporary that it sounds pretty much like the music on the radio, but yet the lyrics are either super sanctified or gray area. Does that frustrate you?
Um, sometimes it does.
Because you're listening to the sound, so you know the spirit that's in the music, and it doesn't match
Yeah.
what they're trying to make
Mm-hmm.
it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
You know, sometimes it works, because of the way God breathes it
Mm-hmm,
in
mm-hmm.
the writer. Other times you can tell that they were going for a certain sound. They were going for a certain sound.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to hook people with a certain sound. You know, trying to perhaps win a secular audience. Um, uh, not the move,
Yeah.
you know, and so um, um,
No,
and when they do that,
I
so when they
completely
do that,
understand. I completely understand because sometimes it's just hard to get past the sound of a song to even music has like spirits, right? Like there's a spirit behind the sound. So I guess that's what made me think like, well, how does that rub you when you hear that?
yeah.
And that's what I
When
heard you say.
I'm troubled when I perceive that they were going for that sound and then just threw some gospel lyrics on top of it. That bothers me. Yeah, that bothers me. Um, um,
Well, I
but
heard TD Jake say, "Whatever bothers you is your calling."
yes, yes, I believe that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there were a couple more questions here. One,
Yes.
who is your favorite new artist that you think has great potential? Oh, I have a question too. And addendum to that, do you mentor writers and singers? Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you do because you're a praise and worship leader. But I mean, do you like men? You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. I do. I do.
Okay, so then, so the first part of the question was, who is your favorite new artist who you think has great potential? That's what somebody asked.
Okay. New artist. I think trying to think of anybody in the past year
Oh, you do master
that
classes. We didn't even get to your vocal teaching. I know you're a vocal teacher. We didn't even get there.
yes, it's okay.
Okay.
Um, I'm trying to think of anybody in the last year um, that I can think of. The one of the first that comes to mind is Todd Delaney.
Hmm.
He's so special. He's quite special, and um, one of the newer artists, I would say, you know, that has come along in the recent years. Keelante is very special as well. Keelante
Mm-hmm.
Gavin,
Mm-hmm.
his heart for God is special. Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, were you going to say something else?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. I didn't want to
Oh
cut you off.
no.
All right, so lastly, I was going to ask you about your vocal training. I don't know how that would have slipped, but you do vocal training. You do private voice lessons and you do master classes?
Hmm. I do.
So how long have you been
The
doing
math
that?
classes were the product of the pandemic.
Oh, really? What'd you say? The master class is what?
The master classes were the product of the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
One of one of the one of the products of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You started doing online master classes.
Yes, yes.
What do you cover?
Um, well, a lot of breathing,
Mm.
um, um, warm-ups. We do, a lot of vocal warm-ups, but we spend a lot of time on breathing and learning to work the diaphragm, the combination of those two things, especially breathing and working your diaphragm, understanding that, mastering those two things in particular, um, the quality of the sound that you release rises and falls on your ability to master both your breathing and and work your diaphragm, your power source. So controls your pitch accuracy, um, volume, quality, and um, everything. So much. So we spend a lot of time on that, working chest ahead transitions, and then beyond that, I think is part of my gift, perhaps, is just to help people tap into what they already have, because sometimes people are coming to me um, or to any vocal coach trying to get sounding more like somebody they admire. And this is my thing. This is I was born for this, to help you stop trying to be other people. Because when God calls for you, when he calls for your voice, when he calls for your sound, he is not calling for the one that you have perfected, the imitation that you perfected. He's calling for the sound that he put in you. And so I believe I'm anointed to help people refine um, the gift that God has already given them and help call that forth.
So, have you ever, that was beautiful, by the way. Lastly, have you ever thought about doing songwriting masterclasses?
I haven't, and perhaps I need to.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, because one of the things, and I've talked about this in some classes, maybe the worship leaders. One of the other classes that came out of the pandemic was the worship leaders cohort, and that's one of my favorites. I've only done 2 of those, but I think I did 3 master classes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but no, I do 2. I think I did 2 and 2 maybe. But the worship leaders cohort is one of my favorites, and it's a smaller group, and it's an opportunity to really kind of have intimate time with a group of a group of worship leaders for about a month, and and that's been a special blessing. And I think maybe in those classes, um, I've talked with students about something I've discovered, over many years. People would come to me with ideas for a song, or they would bring me, lyrics that they've written, and ask, Sister Wendy, can you help me? Can you put music to this, or can you help me with the song? And I remember, and this was years ago, when I believe the Lord was setting me up for revelation that I have more firmly today, a handle on more firmly today. Um, but I would look at those lyrics and I would think, this is not a song, this is a poem. It's too many
We don't be
words.
knowing the difference.
This is too many words. This is too many. Now sometimes, um, it could be cut down some. It could, okay, yeah, we can just maybe take this out and this will be a great song. Other times I've looked at those lyrics and thought, all of these lyrics need to be here. This is not a song, this is a poem. But because in the church we've not given a whole lot of space to the poet, poets try to fit all of what God has called them to be into the song, because that's the platform that seems to be celebrated. We've got to make space for all of the gifts that God gives.
I
And,
love that.
and so I think that is something that I would probably talk about in a songwriting class.
Yeah, I think if you did a songwriting class and maybe just put feelers out and went live one day and said, "Hey guys, I just want to talk about songwriting," I think you would do so well. I do. But what do I know? But
No,
I'm just saying, I think you would be
uh-uh. Nope,
so,
no worries. I got that one.
okay.
I'm going for
Yeah,
it.
I think you should. It would be amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much for meeting with me. My friend Will says you're so sweet. It's like you're sitting with Jesus, ain't it? I just feel like you can tell when somebody really spends time with God. Like there's just a joy, and it's a quiet, settled. I know who I am, and the Lord is just like you're not a person that you can really be high strung around because high strung people will just like run out of gas around you because that's just not who you are. You are really there is a it's like it's goodness, it's mercy, it's joy, it's power, it's strength, it's all of that just sitting on you and just giving you just a beautiful posture, a
Oh,
beautiful, they say that, the beauty of holiness, like holiness is comely, and
oh,
it's just sitting on you.
praise
Yeah.
for that. Praise God.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's what the fruit of the spirit does. That's the fruit of the spirit, right?
Yeah,
Right. And when you spend time with the spirit, this is what it looks like, folks.
I love it. I love Jesus. I do.
Yes. We can tell. We can tell. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for meeting with me. I will definitely connect you with my guy in LA and let him know about you. And like I said, if anybody else knows anything about commercial music, Miss Wendi, or I'm sorry, Pastor Wendi, I don't know which one we call. Okay. Um, she is such a phenomenal, gifted songwriter. On top of being anointed and called by God, she's so gifted and so talented as a singer and a songwriter. I just feel like your music needs to be all the way out there. So
Thank you
it,
so
you're so welcome. Keep calling you Auntie Wendy. He's killing me. All right. So, God bless you. Have a beautiful night. And Happy New Year again. And
much. Thank
congratulations on
you.
everything. And you guys make sure you get her song. Her song with her husband, Look at Our Love. They've been married 30 years, and she put out a beautiful single on January 1st, and you guys should go get it.
Yes, and oh Jesus, and let God arise, and everything else.
And everything else. Because
Yes.
it's all good. It's all really good.
Thank you so much. It's been delightful speaking with you, Dileesa. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.